I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names. I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains. It's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap. Well, how y'all doing? Welcome to episode 4. I'm sorry on episode 3, I was in the middle of working on this thing, went over to catch up on what I was doing. Dadgum battery was dead on my camera. We won't have that problem today. I plugged in an old computer that's got a USB port on it where I can keep this thing charged up, so we be alright. Anyhow, I thought I'd show you what I'd done so far. You remember on them brackets, they was all mucked up and you know the corners didn't work and all that, so let me show you what I've done here. As you can see, that corner right there looks a whole lot better now. Basically, these brackets, just these little old corner brackets here, was too long. They were just too tall. And the bolt holes weren't in the right place, so I actually took my, let me get down here. I actually took my milling machine and milled them holes out where they'd work. And now then, this thing bolts up here like it's supposed to. You know, nice and pretty. Alright. Now, what I'm doing here, which ain't got nothing to do with the directions. Of course, like I told you, the original directions say what you're supposed to do is dig you a trench to bury this metal framework in. Then you backfill around it, and then you've got you a good solid base. Ain't gonna go nowhere. Well, what I've done is I have gone into these pieces and drilled 1, 2, 3 holes. I've drilled 3 holes in each one of these side pieces, and there's 2 pieces to a side. Okay? And what I've done is I have drilled holes in these things and shot me some screws down into this treated 4x4. And I was real careful that, you remember seeing me get this wood all squared up. Well, I was real careful to measure exactly how far this metal is off of that wood. And I come down here and made me a mark to follow all the way down through here, where I'll be exactly the same. Well, I've gone ahead and put all the screws in the wood, you know, to hold these 2 pieces in place. And I might have to jockey them around a little bit, because remember, your diagonals have got to be even. So I'm going to go ahead and get these other pieces mounted to the wood. And what I did is I actually took these apart at the middle. They're a whole lot easier to work with. And before you assemble yours, the best thing for you to do is when you start putting this thing together, if you don't have a helper, is you start at your corner. And then once you got them 2 pieces screwed together, then you can screw one on the other end down there so they don't fall over on you. But hopefully you're smarter than I am and you got help. All right, well, let me get something done and we'll come back. Well, alrighty then. After all this shit, I have completed phase 1. Phase 1. You know, instruction number 1, the first thing you're supposed to do. But please keep in mind, I'm doing it different than the instructions say, because I want mine to sit up off the ground. I'm not burying mine. And it's a little awkward for an older feller to work by himself, especially when he's just damn fat. But all the corners made it up really nice. The diagonals, just for shits and grins, the diagonals are exactly 187 3/4 inches. 187 3/4. And they are dead on. I mean, dead on. So that's great. I've got it square and level, and I'm about to start phase 2, which is bolting on these little flimsy pieces of aluminum. I would recommend that if you're looking at getting this thing, that you download the instruction manual and look at it, and that way you can sort of follow along with what I'm doing here. Because you can download it off the website for nothing. You'll go to Harbor Freight Tools. Let me give you my review so far. The negatives were the fact that the corner braces were too long, the holes weren't drilled where they're supposed to be, so I really blame quality control on that really bad. Okay, so that's a negative. There are a few pieces of aluminum framework that I found that's got a few slight bends to them, you know, a little crimp here or there. I think I can straighten it out without a problem. But that's a couple of negatives. A positive is that every single item in this so far that I've looked at, every single piece has got a sticker on it with a part number. So I'm very pleased with that. And the owner's manual, or the instruction manual, is not made out of newsprint. It's made out of that slick paper, you know, so it resists moisture. It's not waterproof, but it resists moisture, you know, like if it was in a damp environment, it wouldn't turn to mush on you. So, decent instruction manual, and instructions are pretty clear. Everything is marked well, and so far, I mean, that's all I can say about it, you know. As far as the quality control on the like these base rails here, they were all exactly the same length. I mean, exactly like they were supposed to be. Each part number matched perfectly, so there wasn't any slop there. Again, the main problem was the little corner braces, little angle iron braces. But I took my 4.5 inch grinder, I ground about 1/8 of an inch off the top, 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. That gave me room to work that way. And then I took my milling machine, I milled out the holes a little bit so it'd have more room. I will probably go back later with some flat washers, because I did make the holes, you know, kind of big. Because this does not come with washers. It comes with a hex head bolt. When I say hex head, I mean you use like a little Allen wrench, and then it's got a nut for a 10mm wrench. You can't really use a 10mm socket in these tight corners, because the bolts are right there against one another. All right, so that's what I got to say so far. I'm going to go into phase 2 now. I'm going to start putting these pieces together. I'm not going to bore you showing you that, because it's really mundane. But let me see what I can get done with those, then we'll be back. Whew. Phase 2 is completed. And here's what I recommend. I recommend that if you're a drinking man or woman, that before each phase, you have yourself a drink. And if you aren't a person that drinks, learn. God, what a pain in the ass.
All right, let me show you what I've done here. It's not real clear in their instructions, so that's why it's handy to watch somebody do this. I want you to notice that these places where these little rails are put together, if you are standing inside of the greenhouse, then you can see the nuts, both on the ones that the bolts come up through the bottom, and, pardon me, where we go, okay. See, I can see the nuts, they're coming up from the bottom, and then I can see the ones that are inside here, okay? So this is the way you want to do it. Also, they're not at all clear. You've got to read ahead a few steps to figure out where these braces, these little hold down brackets go. See that little fella right there? Well, you put two of them. This is on the rear now. We got one here. There's the center. And there's one, all right? There's another hole over here, but that is for your 45s that are going to come down from the corner post. So on the rear, you're going to put your little hold downs closest to the center, okay? I wish somebody told me this ahead of time so I wouldn't have to spend an hour and a half figuring it out. Also, on the front and the rear, you want to line up the crack in these little rails here and the bottom rails. They're not quite lined up, but they're close. Okay. Now, on the sides, they do not line up with the center because these rails here are different lengths. Okay. So, once again, the nuts are visible from inside of the greenhouse. You can see them coming up to the bottom of that plate, and you can see them coming towards us here. All right. On these, skip a hole and then put your hole down. Okay. See, there's a hole down. There's an empty hole right in there. It is. These are for the 45s that are going to come down from the corner post. So, you got that. Get it put together here. You're going to leave all these little holes open in towards the middle. All right. On the front one, on the front rail, all we're doing is just putting one hole down, because it's got a bunch of other stuff that's going to come down with it here a little bit. And on this side rail, same thing. Let me get back here so we see it. On this side rail here, you've got your bolt plate, your hold down, go way over there, and it's the last hole. And there's a hole down there. You go way over here, and there's a hole down there. All right. Now, it is about time to start phase 3, and I think I'm gonna have me a damn beer. It's pissed me off bigger than shit. I'm telling you what. This. I will explain later when it's all done why I chose to buy this one versus making my own, and it will make sense to you later. But for right now, I swear this is the most aggravating piece of crap I've ever done in my life. My God. If I was younger, I'd have done took this shit and throwed it just as far as I could throw it. Whew. I used to not have no patience. I guess this is good training for me. Teach me how to be patient with people and crap. Whew. I'm telling you, years ago I'd have picked that up and throwed it just as far as I could freaking throw it. Oh. But I'm older now and I'm retired. There ain't nothing pushing me, ain't no hurry. And good thing is, you know, y'all can watch these videos that I make and you can learn from my mistakes or learn from what I do, maybe teach you how to do a little bit easier. I'm still all for the way I did my foundation here. Of course, my situation is different than yours. It'd been nice to have a nice concrete floor to mount this to. Anyhow, we'll take a pause here. I'll see if I can't get some corner posts up. I don't know. I'm gonna have me a dadgum drink. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have me another drink. That's driving me up a freaking wall. Wear me out too. Oh, I gotta tell you, I got a hell of a deal on a microwave oven. Local furniture store. This was years ago. When microwave ovens first come out, one of the earliest brands was a Radar Range. They called it Radar Range. And man, them things are like $400 and $500 because, you know, there's new. I mean, you buy a new one now for what, $29 at Walmart sometime? Anyway, I'll never forget, I was at this furniture store. They'd had a big grand opening and they had this Radar Range, $25. And I looked at it. I said, what's wrong with that thing? It looks new. And the guy said, well, we sold it to this family, and tell you the truth, the little 8-year-old boy put a cat in it. Bzzz. I said, oh my God. I said, yep. I said, oh my God. Oh, did y'all get it clean? I said, yeah, we got it clean. I said, does it still work? I mean, $25 versus $400 or $500, you know. He said, yeah, it still works. Only problem is everything you cook comes out tasting like pussy. Did I say that out loud? Boy, howdy. When that sun starts getting low in the sky, it sure does start getting cooler out here. Well, I wanted to get this last little bit on here so I could finish up episode 4. What it amounts to, I wanted to show you, because it gets pretty doggone confusing here trying to read these instructions. So I wanted to see if I couldn't help make some sense out of this for you. Anyway, that top nut, that top bolt, you want to put that in first. Then the one below it, which has got part number 31 and 79. And then over here on the other side, which is not where the plate is bolted, that's number 80, and it comes on down here on the side. But anyhow, this actually wasn't bad at all for one person. What I actually did was I attached this post with them hold downs right there. And once I got that post just snugged up right there, it stood. And I had the wind blowing and flopping it, you know, twisting the wind, and it held fine. But let me tell you, I had to monkey with this corner down here and loosen that piece up and adjust this back and forth to get those holes right there to align. It was a pain in the ass. And there wasn't no room, there wasn't no wallering out, no drill bit. This had to be right. So I had to monkey with this little plate here on the left, and I had to loosen up my corner braces. I had to loosen up that corner brace down inside there and get this all adjusted just right and get that post on there. And then I'll go back in, I'll tighten up that little corner brace down inside, the ones we started off with this morning. Anyway, you part number 79, as you see, it ties in right here. And part number 80, it ties in right there. And little post assembly does pretty good. Ain't much to it. It's a little bit aggravating for one person, and it'd be nice if you had your good step ladder out here when you're doing this. A feller could do some of it. Like assemble that entire top part and then stand it up and try to assemble it all, but that would require helpers. So the way I done it is I attached the post by itself. Then I went up there and I put brace number 80 on. That's one that comes down here on the side. And after I got 80 on, then I put that plate up there with a little bolt nut and the double brace bolt. When they say brace bolt, it's a medium length bolt and it goes through one brace. The double brace bolt, number 78, goes through the two pieces, which is number 79, which runs right down there. This is 79, and then this around here is 31. It will actually go over yonder and attach to the other side. Alright, so that's where I'm at. I'm gonna call it quits on this today, cause sun is going down. I gotta pick up all my tools and everything, and I hope that I hope this has helped you. I'll go ahead and get these other three corners up before I start recording again, but they're just a repeat of what I've just done right there. So stay tuned. This is finishing up episode number 4, and I'll come back tomorrow and start working on number 5. Let's see what we got here. So let me recap what we've learned. Well, I'll tell you one damn thing I've learned. I guess I better explain to you why I decided to go with this. If you build your own, you're going to go out there and you're going to buy that polycarbonate panel, and it's about $1.35 a square foot. But it's not insulated. It's just like when you put this metal roofing up on a building, or even a polycarbonate up on a building, it will sweat. And if you're doing your own and you're not doing it with aluminum, you're probably doing it with wood. Guess what? Then your wood's getting wet. If I can get this damn thing up and get it solid like everybody's showing that it can be done, if I can get it up here and get it solid, I'll be satisfied with it, I'm pretty sure. But right now, it's a pain in a daggum ass. And I don't know no nicer way to say it other than it's a pain in the daggum ass. So, I appreciate you watching. I'm sorry I'm rambling again. Well, y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye.